So this is a video about the loneliness epidemic that is going on in America and in the rest of the world, but notably in parts of Asia like Japan um, and Europe as well. Excuse me. And I guess the title of this video is "Why Are You Single?" Which isn't all this is about, but this is what draws people in. So. Uh, I would say let me just get into it. It's no matter how you approach this, like where people came from. I guess if you believe in evolution, right? We came from soup or monkeys, or if you consider yourself a Christian, like a god or some sort of being made you. Um, I would say that we're all related in that case, um, and I'm gonna get hate for this, but fuck it. If you are born into a large family, or you have a lot of extended family, I would say that you have no excuse to be lonely. And my reasoning behind that is, if you actually want something, if you really, really want something, you won't care what it is. You just want to have it, right? That goes for anything, right? Like, if you really wanted a house or you really wanted a job, you would do anything to get it, right? People talk about selling out. They talk about selling their soul out or their body or signing a contract, and they get what they want. Rather or not, that's what makes them happy. They get what they want because that's what they wanted. They went for it. And some people will say, well, you're a family fucker. Like, well, you know, regardless of what you believe where people came from, we're all related, right? Like evolution, we're all from the same, people say the human family, right? So, and the same thing with Christianity. You have Adam and Eve in the garden, right? Uh, you had all throughout history people marrying into their family. Parts of Asia. I bring that up. You have Europe. Uh, Prima noctis, the first night. Um, a lot of families started from that. The king would sleep with a newly married bride. And yes, that was the way that it was went about. It was fucking disgusting. Um, and how you go about it, yes. But another bit of reasoning I hear behind people saying it's a bad idea is because you have inbreeding, right? And that's also a big thing. But that happens when you breed, when you have families in the same, when you start families in the same family, extended or otherwise, for a long time. That's like a generational thing that happens, like the Tudors. You see royal families as well, where they get like the royal forehead, or they just don't look right. Um, there's there's ways around it. You can adopt. There's all this stuff going on with genetics. So the science is there to mitigate that. My point being that the real meat and potatoes of this video is that people are killing themselves because they're lonely, right? People say, I'm so lonely, I just want to die. Or, if only I had somebody. And if I was at that point, right, I have just brothers. Right. If I had any sisters, right, or if I was a girl and I had a family of sisters and I wanted a brother, it's the same thing, right? Is it that I'm lonely? Is that why I'm killing myself? Or is it because of other reasons and that's an easy excuse? Um, if if shagging or screwing one of my family members is worse than killing myself, then I would say there's something deeper going on there than just being lonely, right? Um, you're either trying to gin up, trying to get people to feel sympathetic for you, um, or you are hoping in a misguided way that that will get someone to want to sympathy sleep with you, right? And that's just the whole thing, is that you would rather, like I said, rather kill yourself than sleep with your cousin or your brother or sister. And at the end of the day, like I said, we're all related some way. We came from somewhere, right? The human family thing came from somewhere. That these are people that all you're doing is slapping a dehumanizing title on it, like brother, sister, cousin. No, it's just like titles that people put on other people. We're all just people. Politicians, teachers, cops. Those are just people doing jobs. Social media stars, media celebrities. Um, and the end of this conversation is just you have no excuse. There's no excuse. And I'm seeing the real problem is not that people aren't lonely, it's that people don't want it enough. That's why people are single. That's why people are killing themselves. It's easier for them to hang themselves or commit suicide than it is for them to actually put the work in. And if they didn't want to be lonely so badly, then it wouldn't seem like work. You would settle for anybody who's giving you attention. Right? So there's that whole thing. Also, the same thing with the loneliness epidemic, right? And what we're seeing is, I don't care if I get shit for being called an American hater. I don't care if people liken me to Hassan Piker. Um, Excuse me. But there are reasons people hate America. We are one of the youngest nations on earth, and we Americanize the world. There are countries that have been sleeping with people, but I'm going to say for sake of argument, family members, for centuries. Like Asia's been doing it. Parts of the Middle East have been doing it. But why is it now, parts of Europe have been doing it for centuries. Why is it now that as soon as America comes around, then all those things are bad? Does it seem like since we're here now, moralizing to people, that the world has become more miserable? That people have liked kinky and weird things for generations? People like doing stuff with animals. People married into their family. People were happy. But when we showed up, it's like people are miserable now. I see streamers and stuff like that starting out, people who aren't in America, who act like their own countrymen and women. And then as soon as they start getting around other American or European streamers, it's like everything goes out the window. They're more miserable, they're more hateful, they're more judgmental, and anything that comes into like, oh, you shouldn't want to do anything, anything with family members or animals, it's like, why is that wrong? People have been doing it before America even showed up. Why is it just now wrong? You have these people, like I said, the youngest nation on earth, moralizing from a Bible they don't even believe. The founders of America were Masons. A majority of them didn't even believe the Bible. Some of them were Rosicrucians and Freemasons. Washington believes in the great architect. Benjamin Franklin cross-dressed in the French king's court. So it's like these are people who are not moral people. So it's just a form of control. That's all it is. And I'm going to say it's not all America's fault, but it's people who feel guilty for no reason, doing things that are natural, using the beliefs of America as an excuse. But like it or not, we're ruining the world. So I would ask you, anybody watching this, how recent is the loneliness epidemic? And is it tied to the belief that you can't sleep with your family members? or an animal. Things that other cultures and races have been doing for centuries. And I would strongly suggest to people to look in history, look at the timelines. It will add up. The numbers, Mason, what do they mean? It's, people can call me the dude in my basement with a board, with a chalkboard, with the strings and the little bits of you know sticky tack, just making connections that don't exist. It does exist. And I'm not going to blame it on Europe, because Europe's been doing weird things before we showed up as well. It's not the loneliness epidemic that's killing people. It's the Americanization that's killing people. The rest of the world is mature, but they're becoming like children. And I would argue, and part of that is, the more like America people become, the more civilized, the more technologically advanced people become, the more like children you become. You don't have to hunt for food. You don't have to till your crops. You don't have to look for water. But I would still put it to you this way: if America wasn't here, even with all that technology, you would still be a lot more civilized, a lot more mature. How far along is the video? 12 minutes. Anyway, America will always be here. If it will be the way it is now, then that's up to Gen Alpha and Omega to figure out. But I would suggest that the social media stars are a good example of why you don't want to be American. And anybody who gets into it, be very careful who you hang out with. Don't hang out with Americans. Don't hang out with Europeans. If you're from another country, thank God you are. Don't even bother learning English. Learn it if you have to, but not because you want to talk to us. Just stay away from America. And you won't be lonely, and you won't be scared, or sad, or hateful, or resentful of anybody else. You'll live your life. You'll go down to where your countries will have operated before we were here. They will operate after we're gone. And before you build infrastructure, I would say think about how happy you are now and how miserable you will be with technology. Anyway, tangent aside, that's why people are single. Thanks for watching, and don't be American.